English language learning podcast. Sorry for my voice. I am sick. It's been a long 10 days. Mamãe da minha filha estava com as coisas travadas no hospital. Ficou 3 dias lá, voltou para casa. 3 dias mais de não conseguir ficar no pé ou dobrar, fazer qualquer coisa na casa. Então, estava fazendo mais e agora estou doente. So again, sorry about my voice. I am sick. But let's get started. Can men and women both get away with the same things in the workplace? Can men and women both get away with the same things in the workplace? We have a reading today from social media, from Reddit, by a user called Suspicious Edge 8004. Thank you for your contribution. Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? That is the title. You can find the link to the reading on the description or info section on the YouTube channel. Also, eu comecei a postar a leitura mesmo na descrição no canal no YouTube. So again, you can find the reading in the description section, the link, and you can find the actual leitura. So, again, the title, Can Men and Women Both Get Away with This in the Workplace? And our focus expression from the headline is to get away with something or some action or some comportment, some behavior. Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? Here we go. For context, I'm a male. Today, I got into a debate with a female colleague, and I want to let the internet decide who's right and who's wrong. Yes, it's that quiet in the office today. Today, one of our senior managers came in to visit. Every time he comes in, most of the females in the office all start discussing how handsome he is and how if they wish he was single. Today, when this happened, I made the comment that if I, as a male, made similar comments about a female senior manager, I would likely get into a lot of trouble. My female colleague straight away got defensive and told me, that I was wrong. And in actual fact, it's often the language men choose to use rather than what they say that gets them into trouble. I, however, maintained, regardless of language, I, as a man, feel if I was to simply say that senior manager is beautiful, I wish she was single, and another colleague overheard, I would be putting myself at risk of getting into trouble. My colleague disagrees. So, who's right? That is our story. That is our situation. Can men and women both get away with this or this behavior in the workplace? So, quick summarization. Resumo, there's a man describing an incident in the workplace where female coworkers were commenting together privately, not to the man, but talking together about a senior manager and his appearance, and that he's attractive, very beautiful. Oh, I wish he was soltero. I wish he was single. And he's beautiful. He's handsome. And the man had overheard this. He was not in the conversation, but what are they talking? Oh, they're talking about our manager. Okay. He overheard them talking, and now he's having a discussion with his coworkers, his colleagues, his compañeros de trabajo, about, hey, wait a minute, if I said these things to a female coworker about a female boss, or coworker. And what is his exact words? I would be putting myself at risk of getting into trouble. This is not something I can say publicly to other females um, in the office and be safe. No, this is something that is a violation, right? This is a very real possible violation of code of conduct in the office. So, coming up next, all things English, and then we'll talk in the end, the final segment, we'll talk about the topic, and I have some questions. And also, we are including a new segment at the end of every episode. The segment is Porque, acho, isso, importa no Brasil, or para Brasileiro. Why do I think this matters to Brazil or Brazilians? That is our final segment after the questions and conversation. So, coming up next, all things English, we will break down and review the most difficult aspects or parts, vocab, pronunciation, sometimes grammar, but we try to avoid the grammar. But coming up in the next hour. Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? That was our headline. You can find the link and the leitura in the description on the YouTube channel, no canal do YouTube. That was what we read. There was a story about a comment in a workplace between women about a man and a boss, a male senior manager. Another man was listening to the conversation, and he says, "Wait a minute, you're calling him handsome and you're wishing he is single. I don't believe I could say those things about a female senior manager." And that's it. There was no complaint saying renuncia or denuncia. No, there was no formal problem. This is just a conversation between coworkers about, hey, what's the difference? If a man says these things, I feel like I'm in trouble, at risk, and you ladies were saying these things about a man, and you don't feel like you feel like this is a benigno. I'm not sure how to say that, but a not harmful, not damaging, not risky thing to say. And the women said, well, because we say it in a particular way. We don't use bad language. We don't use language that is offensive to say these things. So, can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? To get away with something, this is in the headline, in the title. Can men and women both get away with this? To get away with something is to avoid being caught, to avoid punishment, to avoid blame, to avoid guilt, to avoid responsibility for some previous comportment or action or behavior. Para escapar, evitar, culpa, responsabilidade, punição, castigo, pena, to avoid, evitar, escapar, tudo disso. Todas as consequências. To avoid all consequence. To get into a debate. To get into a debate. The first sentence. For context, I'm a male. I'm a man. I'm a dude. A guy. Today, I got into a debate with a female, a woman, a lady, a colleague in the office. So to get into a debate is to enter, to engage in a discussion about something, right? And you kind of have different sides being taken. It's not a debate if everybody agrees, and it's not a debate if people are, gritando and yelling. So, right, a debate has a specific expectation that people are talking and that there are different opinions. But people are talking, not hitting, not yelling, not screaming, not gritando. So it's to engajar, entrar, em debate, uma discussão. To be single. Maybe this is easy. Maybe this is not. Maybe this is a commonly used or understood word in Latin America. I don't know. Single. Single. Soltero. Not in a relationship. And this is in the second paragraph. Every time the senior manager comes in, most of the women, most of the females in the office all start discussing how handsome. Oh, he's so handsome, my goodness. And how they wish he was single. Oh, I wish he was not married. Oh, I wish he was not in a relationship. The things I would do, I don't know how detailed they get, but I imagine they're not saying that. They're just saying, I wish he was single. I wish he was in the market. Um, let's see. Straight away. My female colleague straight away got defensive and told me I was wrong. No, it's not how it would happen. Straight away, she straight away got defensive. So getting defensive is to ficar defensivo, not to defender, to defend something that you said. And whoa, no, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. Or no, that's not true. So straight away, straight, like reto, direto. I always mix up direito e direto because of the e. But straight, the letters STRAIGHT, straight away. Straight away means immediately, imediatamente, immediately. She immediately got defensive. Whoa, hey, no, this is not offensive. We're not saying anything rude or disgusting. We're just talking about our boss. Regardless, same paragraph. I, however, maintained, regardless of language, I feel it was a risky thing to say, regardless of language. Sem consideração, sem considerar, indiferente, without consideration, irregardless, without respect to. So the man is saying, well, wait a minute. No. This is not about the language you used. This is about the categorical, the type of comment. You're talking about appearance. You can't do that, or you shouldn't be doing that in the office. You shouldn't be fantasizing openly about the relationship status of your boss. It's not okay. Regardless of language. I'm not talking about the language. I'm talking about the category, the type of comment. Overhear, and they used it in the pasado, right? Overheard. Hear, heard. This is one word. Overheard. The infinitive. Overhear. Overhear. To overhear. And I think in Portuguese it's just ouvir, right? But to ouvir alguma coisa, ouvir conversa, no que você não está participando, right? You're hearing something, but you're not participating in the conversation. And this is at the end, right? I wish she was if another colleague overheard me, a man, saying these words, I would be putting myself at risk. So to put yourself at risk is to arriscar. Eu arriscaria meu mesmo, mim mesmo, de ficar num lugar precarioso, com consequência. So to overhear is to hear something, conversation, that you're not in the conversation, you're not participating, you're not participando, you are just pertinho, and you pode ouvir. That is it. There's nothing else that I wanted to dissect or analyze in the English. But please, if you notice something that's difficult or something I missed, como coisa que eu negligee, you can please comment or contact me with your questions. Coming up next, questions and conversation about the workplace for you to think about in English and to write or give a response or a comment in English. Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? That was our headline. You can find the link and the Leitura, the reading, in the description section on YouTube. Question number one: do you think men and women are treated differently in the workplace? If yes, how? Why? Do you think men and women are treated differently by bosses, by um, RH or HR, by coworkers, by clients? Just everything in the workplace. Do you think men and women are treated differently? If you think yes, why and how? Se você acha os homens e mulheres estão tratados diferentemente no escritório, se sim, como? Por quê? Talvez se não, também. Por quê? Por que não? Number two, has anyone at your workplace ever made a comment about your appearance? Se alguma vez alguém no seu trabalho, no escritório já fez um comentou sobre o seu, a sua aparência. Let me try that again. Ixi. Se alguma vez alguém no seu trabalho ou escritório, uma vez, fez um comentário ou comentou sobre a sua aparência, um, has anyone ever made a comment about your appearance, good or bad? You know, hey, nice hair. Hey, did you cut your hair? Very cool. I like your glasses. Or your eyes match your dress. You have green eyes, you're wearing a green dress. Oh, that's terrific. Nice shoes. Your skin looks good today. Or negative things. Ooh, look at her hair. Look at his hair. Ooh, man. Oh no, look at his teeth look gross today. Any comments about you? And this is about you specifically. And I'm asking se você já ouviu esses comentários, né? Não estou perguntando se, atrás das suas costas as pessoas falam de você. Não, como você saberia disso, né? Mas na sua presença, in your presence, have you heard someone make a comment about you or to you regarding considering your appearance? Number three, what do you think about the topic and debate from the story? Do you think the man would have been treated differently? What do you think would have happened? So again, let me ask the question in Portuguese. O que você acha do debate na história e a tema, né? De as pessoas, homens ou mulheres, falando coisas assim sobre aparência no escritório. What do you think would have happened differently if the man and a group of men were talking about a female superior senior manager, and a woman heard them talking about, I wish she was single? Maybe that's very common, right? Maybe that's the standard that women learned. Hey, you can say these things if you if you use the correct language, because people won't care as long as the language is controlled. So what do I think? I think that it depends. It always depends. So what is the man actually asking or saying, right? He's saying, and this is the final paragraph, I maintained, regardless of language, that if I, a man, said that that female senior manager is beautiful, I wish she was single. Eu espero, desejo que ela fosse solteira. E ela tá bem bonita. Nossa. and someone heard that, particularly a female heard that he would be putting him, these are his words, colocando si mesmo em risco de ficar em lugar de consequência. He would be putting himself at risk of possibly being in trouble. Yes, I agree. He would be. That's true. But so would the women. The women were also putting themselves at risk. If the man, right, the person who wrote this story, if he was uncomfortable because of the comments, then he could go to HR and say, someone said something in the office and it made me uncomfortable. He can do that. And the women in this story were putting themselves at risk because they were talking about something at work that was not about work. And anytime you do that, if anyone is uncomfortable, you are at risk of being in trouble, of getting in trouble, of having some reprimand, some consequence. So I think he's confused, right? I think he's confused about how men get into trouble. Men get into trouble, it seems, because they do make people uncomfortable with these comments. And maybe it's the way they say it. Maybe it's like the women said. She got defensive. Hey, no, it's the way, right? O jeito que os homens falam essas coisas no escritório, que pode arriscar o trabalho deles, né? It's the things they're saying, or it could be the category, right? A man saying something about a woman, and someone hears it and goes, "Ooh, I didn't like that. It's about our boss's appearance. That's unprofessional. I'm going to HR." So I think that there's a confusion here, that the women were not at risk. They were at risk. It's only the case that no one was uncomfortable. The senior manager did not hear, or maybe they did, but they have not made a complaint or a comment. The other coworkers who were not in the conversation, no one made a complaint. But if they did, they would be at risk of being in trouble, and they could get in trouble. So that's my takeaway. That's my review. To be single. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. God damn it. The next question. Generally, do you trust your HR department to protect you if something uncomfortable happened at work? Why or why not? Geralmente, você confia no departamento, no recursos humanos para te proteger se alguma coisa desconfortável acontecesse no trabalho, no escritório. Por que sim ou por que não? Do you trust the human resources, os recursos humanos, to protect you if something happened at work? If you felt uncomfortable or threatened, ameaçado, desconfortável, or something that made you feel bad or, yeah, threatened or unsafe. Do you trust recursos humanos to protect you? Number whatever. The next question. Do you think your coworkers are your friends? Se você acha, se você considera os seus companheiros de trabalho, tipo amigos, como amigos, or no? I think there's a very different cultural attitude about coworkers in the office. Americans do not automatically consider coworkers as friends. We do automatically consider coworkers as competition and potential risks to go say something to HR. Do you talk the same way at work with coworkers as you do outside of work with your friends? Se você fala no mesmo jeito no trabalho com companheiros de trabalho Um, quanto você fala uh, com seus amigos fora do trabalho, right? So do you talk the same way? Do you use the same language? Do you talk about the same things with your coworkers as you do with your friends? And when I say, quando eu falo com seus companheiros de trabalho, eu não estou falando só no trabalho, com eles fora do trabalho também. Happy hour, né? Um aniversário, né? Um restaurante. Fumando fora do prédio. Do you talk to them about the same things? Do you use the same language as when you talk to your friends? And finally, our last question. Geralmente, se você é suspeita dos seus companheiros de trabalho e a ambição deles profissional, por que sim ou por que não? Are you generally suspicious of your coworkers' ambitions in the workplace? Why or why not? Americans are. We are always, I can't say everyone and always, but yes, generally we are suspicious of our coworkers. And if you are not suspicious in the U.S., then you are silly. It's not a, it's professionally irresponsible to trust your coworkers in the U.S. Because you are competing for the same thing. There's pay, there's cash, that is to be given to people who are employees. Your coworker making, $1 means that you will not be able to make that dollar. A coworker getting a promotion means that you will not get a promotion. A coworker talking to HR about something you said at a happy hour means that they can get your dollar and your promotion. That's just how we are trained in a highly capitalistic American society. Coming up next, why do I think this topic matters to Brazil? Porque isso, porque esse assunto é relevante no Brasil e para o brasileiro e brasileira. Can men and women both get away with this in the workplace? That was our headline. We read the story about a man hearing some comments by female coworkers about their senior manager male boss, talking about his appearance. He's so pretty, beautiful. Eu desejo que ele fosse solteiro. I wish he was single. All of that. We reviewed the English. We had some questions and conversation. And finally, our last new segment at the end. Why does this matter to Brazil and to Brazilians? Porque esse tema se importa brasileiro e no Brasil? Why is it important? Why is it relevant? So here's my short take. I'm not sure that the particular story matters. Maybe it doesn't. But I would like to know the thoughts, feelings, and perceptions of the Brazilian workers and people about feeling protected or vulnerable in the workplace. Where I am from, there are different expectations and applications of HR or HR rules in the workplace. The language we use in the workplace can have profound implications for the work environment and productivity. Also, most Americans accept that HR, or recursos humanos, is not your friend and you cannot trust them. What about in Brazil? Thank you for listening to the English Language Learning Podcast. Subscribe. It's good. Subscribe. Like, dislike, comments, whatever. But try to subscribe.